Hello everyone, welcome to our next video. In this video, we'll see introduction to composition levy in GST. So, objects and focus area. What is composition levy in GST? Object of composition levy, rate of composition scheme. Who can opt this scheme and cannot opt in this scheme? Benefit of this scheme and condition for avail of this scheme. So, what is composition levy in GST? Composition levy in GST is an alternative method of a tax. It is designed for the small taxpayer whose turnover up to 1.5 crore or 75 lakh in the case of Himachal Pradesh or Northeast area. What is the object of composition levy? So, object of composition levy, it is bring a simplicity for the small taxpayer, and this scheme can help the taxpayer to pay tax every quarter of lower tax rate instead of paying normal tax rate. Specified rate of composition levy. So there is a category manufacturer other than manufacture of such goods as like notified by the government, ice cream, pan masala, tobacco product, etc. Their rate of GST is 2%, 1% for CGST and 1% for SGST of the turnover. They have to pay of the turnover, not on the every product. If their turnover is 1.5 crore, then they have to pay tax 2%, 1.5 crore into 2%. If their turnover is 1.5 into 2% of this turnover, not in all the products. Okay, so manufacturer have to pay goods tax rate of 2% of the turnover, 1% for GST and 1% for SGST. For restaurant service, there is a 5%, 2.5 CGST and 2.5 for SGST of the turnover. 5% of the turnover. Turnover means as if their turnover total sale, on the total sale, they have to pay on the total sale GST. They have to pay GST on the total sale. And for trader or any other supplier eligible for composition scheme, they have to pay 1%. For traders or any other supplier who's eligible for composition levy, they have to pay 1% of their turnover, 0.5 for CGST and 0.45 for SGST. What are the benefits of composition scheme? They help to reduce the tax payment. There's a less complexity based on the regular GST, and high liquidity as tax are at lower rate. Who can opt this scheme? Supplier of goods, manufacturers, restaurant and catering service can opt this scheme, but the aggregate turnover is up to 1.5 crore, or Northeast or Himachal Pradesh limit is 75 lakh. Who cannot opt this scheme? Manufacturer of ice cream, pan masala or tobacco product. A person who is making a intra-state supply from one state to another state supply, they cannot opt in this scheme because in the composition scheme, they are the the taxpayer are not eligible for supply goods once from one state to another state. A casual taxable person are not eligible for up to composition levy, and non-resident taxable person. Condition for avail composition scheme. First, you cannot claim ITC as you are dealing in a composition scheme. You cannot supply not taxable under GST, just like alcohol. If you are going to a transaction under a RCM, so you have to pay a normal tax rate as for the based on the normal GST. If taxable person in a composition scheme have a different segment of business that like textile, electricity, grocery, etc. under the same PAN, they have to register all such business under this scheme or opt out from this scheme. And whenever the taxpayer is prominently at the place of business, they introduce a notice, signboard display. They have to always mention the word composition taxable person. Composition and the taxpayer in the composition scheme does not issue taxable invoice. They have to issue bill of supply. In composition scheme, taxpayer are in at the time of billing, the taxpayer did not issue the tax invoice. They have to issue bill of invoice, and they have to mention word composition tax person whenever they issue bill of supply. In composition scheme, they cannot claim ITC, and they cannot supply goods from for interstate as one state to another state. They can supply only intra-state. Thank you so much. I hope you have understand this topic, composition levy under GST. If you have any question or you want to reach us, you can reach info@skillanything.com or call in this number. Thank you, everyone.